So I was just in Montana and I was able to stop by one of my favorite used gear stores, which is Second Wind Sports in Bozeman, and I love any used gear store that will resell old climbing gear like these cams. So these are some old TCUs. They're not, since they're the smaller ones, which I love small placements, they're not good for a lot. I think the most this number one would be good for is like 9 kilonewtons new, but as long as you can inspect this used gear, it's all good to go except for the textile. And I was just watching a How Not to Highline video about some of the ways that they were re-slinging cams, and I didn't really like any of their simple knot tying ideas, so I was thinking about maybe doing something splicing, and then I was like, I'll just sew it and then I'll self-verify, because I do have a way to break test here and see what they're good for. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to re-sling these TCUs, and then we're going to sacrifice this nut and sew some samples onto here, and then break them or proof test them just to make sure that they're good for at least 10 kilonewtons, because neither of these cams should be better for more than 10 kilonewtons. So as long as we can verify that, we're good to go. So what we're going to re-sling with is, I got two different things here. We have these are both blue water. This is just the 5/8 nylon webbing, and this is the 1/2-inch Dyneema webbing. So I just wanted to try both of them and see how they'll go. So we're going to sew both those samples onto the wire of this nut to break test, and then we're going to sew it on here. Obviously you can see someone's already re-slung this one with just a simple overhand knot, which is just kind of, it's serviceable, but it's just kind of bulky and annoying. So we're going to re-sling it just like this one was originally slung, kind of the common way, where we got a doubled up loop and some bartacks here and a nice captive section, so you're always clipping the right area. But we're just going to copy this loop runner. This will be our little prototype, and yeah, let's re-sling a cam. I've never re-slung a cam before, but I've sewed a lot of life support, so how hard can it be? We're going to start by removing the old textiles. This overhand knot is fairly easy to undo. That's why I recommend that if you ever do this, if you ever re-sling one of your cams just with tape like this, that you either whip or tape this piece together so that that knot can't come undone quite so easily on you. If you dress it well, it shouldn't come undone, but you know. And then I did use a calipers to make sure that these are close enough inside for good comparison, and then we'll even put some electrical tape around this one, since I don't have, you know, some nice heat shrink on here like that. But you can see on this cam here kind of the pattern we're going to try to emulate, which is the fact that we have, if we're looking at it from this side, we can see we have 6 bar tacks total, and then only 2 of them are visible from this side, and then another bar tack here that just holds the captive section of the cam. And something that is really important to pick up from that How Not to Highline video is, since this webbing is running on this wire here, this wire doesn't like having something thin plying against it. So by the webbing being doubled up in this loop here, that kind of disperses the force better and doesn't allow the wire to fold in quite so acutely on itself and cause the wire or the webbing to then fail earlier. So this is something we're also going to copy, making sure that we double this up nicely. Go ahead and cut it off of there. Alright, so this is our number 1, and then this one wasn't numbered. I think this is a 0 or something. And just because of the size of these loops, I think we're going to re-sling the number 1 with the 5/8 webbing, which is a pretty close match to the original webbing. This original webbing is a little bit larger. But we'll re-sling this one with the 5/8, and then we'll re-sling this 0 with the 1/2-inch Dyneema. And something that you'll see when you're working with life support stuff is you're always supposed to fuse the ends somehow. Dyneema will burn if you're working with something that's burn resistant like Technora. Usually I like dipping it in water-based polyurethane or something, or some kind of liquid whip to make sure that those ends stay really nice. But that's really important. You don't want it unraveling on you. And then we're just going to measure this out. So Alright, so we have both of our lengths cut, one test sampled each, and then one of our regular ones that are going to go on the cams. And then I just have a short little section cut off here so that we can make sure the sewing machine stitch is prepped and everything's going to work properly. Alright, so the thickest thing we'll ever sew is going to be 3 layers. So we're just going to make sure that the tension is properly set for 3 layers of fabric. There are 2 things I'm looking for when I'm making sure the machine's set up correctly, and that is the stitch density. So we want it to be really dense for these bar tacks, and the thread tension. So we're just making sure that the upper thread, which is my red, I like to two-tone it so I can see, make sure everything's working properly, make it easier to inspect. But just making sure the thread is getting pulled back up properly. And these are softer webbing, so everything's looking really good. So I'm gonna start with sewing one of the test samples first, so that if I really bugger this up, it's on the test sample and not on the actual cam. But the way our pattern works is we have a bury distance, so it's kind of a loop like that. I'm going to do a bar tack here and then fold it over, and then our other bar tacks start above here. But this is just you know, something I like to think about is I always kind of compare it, well, just any work like welding, where you want to start in the most uncomfortable position and work to the most comfortable position. Maybe that's not accurate, but basically you want to think about which order you do the stitches in so that you don't screw yourself. So we're going to start with the one at the bottom of this loop. We sewed this big loop, and then now we're going to close it to capture the wire so that you don't have this sling just slopping around on you. So that first one's kind of messy, but that's 6 bar tacks all together holding everything together. 1 bar tack that holds the eye captive. That is our first one done. This nut has officially been slung. Now that looks messy, but the question is, how strong is it? Is it greater than 10 kilonewtons? Because then that is good enough for me. So right here we have the original plan, but this Dyneema is a little bit thicker than this nylon, and my machine really did not like sewing through 3 layers of it. So since I'm going to be using the Dyneema on the 0 TCU, which is weaker anyways, only like 5 or 6 kilonewtons, I'm just going to sew it simple like this, where the machine never has to sew more than 2 layers, which means we lose that doubled up effect, kind of spreading the weight out on the wire there. But I think it'll be plenty good enough for what we're doing. But we'll find out. That's what the point of this is we're going to test this. So now let's sew the cams. Something I've decided to do here, which I've done in the past when sewing webbing, is it's kind of a pain to switch between zigzag and straight stitch, especially when you have your bar tack spacing set out so nicely. But if you run a rectangular basting stitch like this before you do the bar tacks, you get such a cleaner, better result. And that's what I just did on that last test section, so I'm going to be doing it for this actual cam section too. Also, if it's out of square, it's way easier to seam rip a straight stitch than it is a bar tack. here's our finished product and our testers. So we will give these a pull and see if that tells us if these are good enough. This is my super fancy brake test machine. Come along in a crane scale. Alright, so that is 2,200 pounds. Of course it's dropping again because we have a pretty dynamic system. But that was 2,200 pounds. Now let's see what we can take it up to. 27, 28, 29. Well, I can hear it starting to break. There it was. Both had 3. So I have a pretty low-tech brake test system. It's just a 8-ton cable puller and a crane scale. So it's not super exact. I can't get a peak hold, but as long as I'm holding something stably, I can see what it's at. So first we took these up to 2,200 pounds, which if it was at least good for that, I was gonna say that it was good enough for these smaller cams. And then continued to bring it up until they both broke at right around 3,000 pounds. They definitely went over maybe 3,100 pounds, but thankfully we pulled the nylon one first because the nylon one just broke where it was around the wire. But the Dyneema one, because the bend radius is more aggressive and this textile is stronger than the nylon, it actually broke the nut wire, and I didn't look at it till afterwards, but the nut's only rated for 10 kilonewtons, so we pulled it right past its breaking point. So I think it actually technically broke around like 13 kilonewtons. I don't remember what the conversion is exactly, but I think it was right around 31,000 or 3,100 pounds. So that's huge. That is pretty good enough for me, and I love how these turned out. Small cams are my favorite to place, and they seem to always find placements on just about every route. So I'm going to be really happy to have these in my rack, and these things are absolutely sweet. I love breathing some new life in beautiful old gear. But you know, don't do this yourself unless you do have a way to brake test it, but you certainly can sew your own gear. The caveat is you just have to have a way to prove that it's good enough, and I think the crane scale is accurate enough that we got that 3,100 pounds, and these are also smaller cams, so they're not even good for what these slings are going to be good for on them. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That was my first time doing that, and I think it turned out pretty well. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys whip on these? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.